I have AIDS, and I have made 4 feature films since I discovered I was HIV, and I'm going to make at least 2 next year, and I've written 3 books. You know, I wanted to show people in that way that actually that particular problem that we're faced in could actually be overcome. Well, I think a lot of things have changed. I think there's much more information and much more discussion. It's much more general discussion, and I mean this has been brought about by you know, a succession of activists. I mean, GLF in 21 years ago was a revelation for all of us, and put, I think, much more direct political intervention on the map. I mean, from GLF come, you know, the gay pride marches. You know, the GLF organised, I think, the first demonstration ever on Primrose Hill. I mean, enabled people to come together and realise they weren't isolated. I think political action before that had been much more cosy. Yes, in many ways they have, particularly in the amount of information available. I mean, when I came to London in 1960, really quite honestly, there was no way of knowing anything about my life at all. You know, probably the only thing I could find any references might be in a Jean Cocteau novel. I don't know who you were. I mean, this is why I put these newspapers behind me, because that form of onslaught is carrying on. These are just very few of the newspapers from the 1980s, headlines that one woke up to. Well, yes, in some ways we're not. In other ways, I think we are. I think in our own lives we're further down the road. There's more publishing. You know, the past has been reclaimed. There's certainly more films than there were. You know, we have, however little it might be, the odd night on television. But I realise that even there, people are sort of creeping around it. I mean, the BBC has been very, very frightened about doing anything. It's the centrepiece of its own gay night has been removed, which is the one piece we all wanted to see. It is a problem. I mean, there's a problem, for instance, with Edward even, but at the same time, it is an advance on what was there before. I mean, very definitely. I'm an optimist all the way through this. And it seems to me that the legislators are dragging their feet. They're way, way back, you know, by creating a very homophobic atmosphere. I think it was tragic at the time, because I think it led to you know, real to deaths, in fact, you know, within the gay community, which could have been avoided, I think. So it's easy to die from hate, you know. I mean, if everyone is telling you this is you know, like these headlines are, you've had it, you can easily give up. I've seen people die for love, so it's possible to die for hate, and I think there was a lot of that around in the 80s.
To go back to the culture, how important do you think the culture has been in the movement? What sort of change has been brought about through the culture?
Well, the culture is never going to be liked by everyone in the sense that one person might read a poem or another person might see a book. I don't know that my films particularly were loved by everyone in the gay community. I think they would have probably have been happy if I'd been making musicals, you know, with Julie Andrews or something like this, a lot of people. On the other hand, their very existence gave people, you know, gave people something to, I don't know, to evaluate themselves by. All the way through the last 15 years, I've had people saying, I didn't understand the film you made, Derek, but it actually changed my life. I think that's interesting. So I think things do